An unusual excitement reigned in the parking apron. As soon as I climbed out of the cockpit after landing, I quickly watched the Junkers, which had already started to unload with an extremely suspicious zeal. The reason turned out to be trivial, but once again my hunch was not entirely wrong. Feldwebel Meyer from the ground personnel had not wasted any time waiting out the bad weather in Dugino, and he'd managed to score a few boxes of an excellent wine from somewhere. His vast military experience told him to shove them in the furthest corner, under a pile of junk, our aviation supplies. Of course, he had no problems getting the volunteers to help him with this matter. After some difficulty making my way through the crowd, I sternly reminded Meyer to be thankful that his flight had had such a happy ending. In the middle of this lively discussion, as I was starting to look towards the feast we were going to have that evening, our conversation was interrupted by an increasingly deafening roar of motors. This certainly wasn't our returning fighters that were deciding to shake their wings in celebration of their victories. The next moment, about a dozen aircraft appeared at the edge of the forest and flew right over our heads, raining down fire on our distant parking areas. Now we knew for sure they were Russians. Moments later, the sirens gave a prolonged wail, and the automatic anti-aircraft guns started to bark viciously. Everyone dispersed, running for the cover of trenches that had been dug out in advance along the edges of the airfield. I don't even know what came over me, but I ran in the opposite direction, towards a Messerschmitt of the first Staffel. It had landed only recently, and after testing its engine in flight. My previous poor experience made me check that fuel gauge as soon as I got into cockpit. The tank was about a third full, more than enough fuel for my purposes. It would be much easier for me to take off and engage the enemy in this aircraft. That is, of course, if the enemy gave me the chance to get off the ground in the first place.
Alright, the engine's turning on. Ooh, that guy just got wrecked. That's an I-16. And there's his 4 buddies. Oh, another one just got shot down. Awesome. So if they give me a chance to get up in the sky, we're gonna go finish off the rest of this sortie. It's only been about 15 minutes since I just landed from the last mission. We didn't even have time to unload the plane fully. And I just hopped into a random Bf-109. This isn't even the one I just flew. So let's get onto the runway. It's right in front of me. I just gotta wait for the engine to spin up. It's taken forever. Alright, the engine just turned on. There seems to be a dogfight, people shooting up in the sky. Let's close the canopy, the runway's right in front of me. And let's start our slow right-hand turn onto it. We need to just go before they start dropping bombs on this thing and make it inoperable. I want to see if I can complete my ace in a day. Okay, we're in the sky, landing gear up, we got no flaps, and let's go start looking for planes. What do I see on the horizon? There's something. Okay, almost immediately we're going to go chase down whatever that is that was just turning away from me on the horizon here. Perfect, this guy hasn't even seen me yet. I-16's about to get bounced. And just like that, I-16 is out of the fight. And there he goes. Alright, that's another kill for my tally today. Let's look around for more planes. I'm going to scan low on the horizon because that's where they seem to be flying from. But I think my friendly, the guys that were still up in the sky managed to do most of the work already. I think those were tracers off to my left. Let's go follow those. looking up there? That's a bunch of Bf-109s. You got the F models up in the sky, and then you got the 2 E models right up there. They made short work of those fighters. You can still see the smoldering wrecks of the guy that crashed on the runway. And then somewhere out there is the wreck of the guy that I shot down. So I believe that brings my total up to 5 kills for the day. There's no more planes in the sky, but we made our ace status. And with that, let's go land on the runway. Okay, we're not going to land on the runway with a crater next to it. Let's land on the big one without the smoking wreck. See, how fast am I going? About 400 kilometers an hour. Let's do a turn to burn off some energy. Oops. Drop some landing gear. Flaps, and where's my gear light? Come on, turn on. 1 and 2, there we go. And that's where we're landing. Once again, I'm going to do this little kind of right-hand hook turn. Because, again, mama didn't raise no 2-pass bitch. And I hope that flares for me, because I do not want to collide with someone on the runway. Okay, 200 kilometers an hour. And it will straighten out. Now we start falling out of the sky right about now. Oof. Okay, that was pretty hard. But we're on the ground again. And we are now an ace. Alright, we are back at the net. Let's do a much better parking job this time. So I just gotta line up straight in front of it. And then we will unlock the tail wheel before we start the slow roll forward. You basically drive with your brakes. Alright, and then now that we're here, we'll move fully on the right wing, and I oversteered it. Back to the left. So you kind of feather it with your right pedal there, if you can see. I'm holding down the left one, and then kind of feathering it with the right as we turn. And then flip it, let's do the same thing. A little bit of throttle, feather it with the left. And am I centered? I am pretty centered. Engine off. That is a much better parking job.
Okay, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments how you like those introduction videos that I'm doing now, where I narrate the opening script. All the dialogue's been written by the game itself, I'm just reading it. But I do like adding these little cinematic intros because it adds so much to the scripted campaigns. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll have the next mission for this one up next Friday. Thanks.